Cheers to you guys.
My love language is your time and attention. Won't you give some of it to me? I've been lonely lately. I've been feeling neglect.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another Tell Me More. There are actually some questions that have been asked and I have been avoiding just because they're questions that I don't really like answering. They make me think a little bit too much of like what I want in life, or maybe something I'm ashamed of, or maybe just something that I don't like talking about openly all the time. So I gathered the questions that are kind of like the questions I'm avoiding to tell you guys or have it exposed on the internet. And then I have some questions that a lot of you just asked, and so I'm going to clarify on some of them. I don't remember how many questions I kind of compiled, but I have a few of them. So because I am filming by myself for the first time in a really long time for TMM, I thought I would make my favorite drink today, which is the lemon drop martini. You guys know I'm obsessed with this. If you don't know, I probably just haven't talked about it a lot, but if you did know, it is my favorite drink. If we go to a bar, other than like trying to get litty titty, I'm most likely going to get this. If you're sitting at like a dinner bar or whatever. This is the only sugar I could find, and it's from last time with my cousin. It's pink sugar, so that's what I just used. So it looks a little bit similar to last time's drink. Super cute. I didn't have, so I was looking up like different recipes to make it. It's fairly easy. All you really need is lemon juice, so like lemons, vodka or citrus vodka, and something else that starts with a C. I don't remember the name of it, but I don't have that. Oh, and you need syrup. So I used simple syrup. I did have to take a little sip out of it because I had to taste if it was okay or not, but it tastes amazing. But before we get started, cheers to you guys. Oh my god, I love it. Kind of wanna... I'm also gonna apologize in advance because you might hear some random noises. As you guys know, Clem's kind of sitting here, but if she hears something out the window, she usually like bolts out, or she's drinking a lot of water because it's really hot today, just like that. So don't mind her, just come into the voice, come in. Okay, so to get started, I wrote down all the questions. I have it organized for you so that we don't have to get confused. So first question is update on moving. Am I moving out? When are you moving out? Are you going to move out? When are you gonna move out? That question is thrown at me so much because I said it once, and I'm very sorry that I said it to you guys and then you guys got really excited. I right now am very content living at home for a certain amount of time. I think through my growing up phase in my 20s, I went through like a really bad depression state where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not moving anywhere in life. I feel like I'm stuck in my room. My room is like, you know, I've lived in this room forever and I just feel like I'm not going anywhere in life. And then I saw all my friends' lives just kind of like go forward, and I felt like I was stuck. So for a very long period of time, I was like, I'm just gonna move. I wanna get out of here. I wasn't getting along with my family all that much. We were bickering a lot because I was trying to find my like independence. And if you've grown up in a family where you're very tight and they're opinionated and they kind of have a control over you, it's very hard to kind of find your independence. So for a long time, I was just like, I'm gonna move out. I don't care where I move, I'm just gonna move. Who cares? Whatever, I'm just gonna do it. And years later, obviously, that was also before COVID. After COVID and changing my room, I've just gotten very comfortable with being home. I like being around my family. I love being around my brother. Clem loves being around my family. She absolutely loves my entire family. And I'm just content. But if you get down to the nitty gritty as to why like I actually won't get myself to move, of course, one, it has to do with finances. It's a lot to be able to live on your own. It's, you know, you've got rent, utilities, and groceries. I have a dog. I'm not just taking care of myself. Like, I can starve, but I'm not gonna starve Clem. And with that, the reason why I say that is because I personally do not want a roommate. I don't want to live with someone. I don't want to have to accommodate to someone. I want to buy my own furniture and I want to furnish my own apartment the way I want it. And when I leave, I want to take all of it. I just don't want to deal with having a roommate. That's just who I am. If I was younger and if I didn't have as much, you know, like pride, I guess, ego, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, then I would have moved in with a friend, but I don't want to now. I am an adult where I just want to be by myself and be at peace in my own apartment. No one tells me what to do. I don't have to tell anyone else what to do. And you know, like I don't have to worry about anyone. Along with finances comes with like, I just want to make sure that I am financially more than stable in order to move out. I don't want to be someone who moves out and then ends up fucking up, I don't know how, and then has to move in with her parents again. I don't want to do that. So I want to be like set in stone. I would rather move out of the house later when I know for sure, like I never ever ever have to doubt myself, than leave and come back, because I just personally would be really embarrassed. This question was asked a lot. It's, what was your 9-to-5 job? Before I am doing what I'm doing now, which is also a question, what do you do for a living? What's my job now? And YouTube is my full-time job now. Content creating is my job full-time now. Before I was doing this, I was in the childcare service. I worked with children. I worked with lots of children throughout a lot of years. I was in child development. I was going in to be a preschool teacher. That's what I was doing. I know a lot of you guys have asked me, like, what do you do now? What did you do? Do you have a 9-to-5? What did you do for your 9-to-5? So I hope that answers your questions. I think a lot of you guys are new to my channel because I get a lot of questions asking about Clem, or like, how did I end up with Clem, things like that. So I will actually link a video down below talking about like the process of adopting Clem, my Q&A about her. That is pretty old, so I am gonna answer some questions now. So a lot of the questions that I get is, what breed is she? How old is she? Where did I get her? So I'm gonna give a little backstory before Clem came into my life. I had never grown up with furry animals. What I mean by that is just like anything furry. Like I never had any animals in my house other than a fish. My dad is severely allergic to animals, just anything with fur. He has a lot of problems with like dust and like dander, pollen, so like allergies during the seasonal changes is very hard for him as well. I do too. I'm allergic to cats, but I'm not allergic to dogs. So obviously with that, we weren't allowed to have pets. So I just kind of grew up not having pets. I also didn't have very many friends who had pets. My best friend in high school had a Labrador, but she was the only Labrador I could really get close to. She was very hyper as well, so I was pretty much scared of her half of the life that I knew her. I knew her about like, what, 13 years, and I probably didn't get close until like towards the end. I was just afraid, you know, when you're not around a lot of animals, you just don't know how to be around any animals. So I didn't have any. And then of course, as I became an adult, I wanted a dog. I always wanted a dog. I think it's always a child's dream to have a dog. Do I believe getting a child a dog? No, because I think when you're a parent, you should tell yourself that you're getting a dog, because the child is lying to you if they say that they're gonna take care of the dog. They're straight up lying to you. So I always wanted a dog, and I told my dad I wanted a dog. He said no, and I said, okay, fine, whatever. So then I let it go. And him and I had this huge argument probably a couple months before Clem came into our lives. And then finally, after I quit my job and I was working from home, Kim hit me up, and it was when she was still living here, and she was like, hey, by the way, a subscriber reached out to me, and her brother has a dog and they don't want the dog anymore, and she would rather give the dog to somebody, like, you know, because Kim is very well known to find a lot of strays and find homes for them. So, you know, so she reached out to Kim and was like, hey, my brother's not taking care of this dog and he doesn't want her anymore. She just had 5 babies and I don't want to take her to the shelter. She couldn't take care of the dog, obviously. She already had 4 of her own. She was getting ready to move. So then she was like, Michelle, now that you're home, do you think maybe you can foster? And I was like, okay, well, send me a picture and let me see what this dog looks like, and blah, 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 blah. I saw the picture and I was like, I can't foster her, because if I foster her, I'll end up keeping her and that's just gonna create problems in my family. And she was like, just think about it. And I was like, okay, I'll think about it, you know. So then I finally talked to my dad, and my dad was like, I don't know. But the trick was to ask them to foster and then end up keeping her, you know, playing tricks at the ripe old age of 20 something. So I was like, okay, whatever. Brought her home that day, got her groomed the next day, and that's pretty much how I ended up with Clem. Her name originally was Nala, which I think is so funny because she is like the tiniest little thing ever. But a lot of you guys also asked me like how I came up with the name Clementine. I had like a roster of names that I wanted to name a dog if I ended up getting a dog, which I knew eventually I would, like once I was moved out or with a significant other or a family dog, I don't know. So I had a roster of names, and I really like old names, like old-timey, like just old names. So a lot, I think some of them was like, if I had a boy, I was gonna call him Benjamin, or a girl and I wanted to call her like Edith or something, just something like that, something along the lines of that. And so when I saw Clementine, she was just so small, and I was like, I want to name her Clem. Clementine is it. So that's how I ended up with her name. I had the name in my roster, so I was like, she looks like a Clementine, so that's what we're gonna do. If you guys are interested, I did a DNA test, and she's 49% mini poodle, 13% cocker spaniel, and 13% pug. I have no idea where the pug is. No idea. Have no idea. It might be the little legs, but I'm not too sure. When it comes to Clementine, a lot of you guys ask if I want a second pet. Of course, naturally, I want a second dog. I think, like, who doesn't, you know? Like, if you have one dog, you always want a second dog. Of course, I'm not getting one right now. I am very happy with just Clementine. That might be because she is a high maintenance dog, but I do want a second dog, but at the same time, I don't want a second dog. I'm kind of back and forth just because, one, I do think a second dog will help Clemmy. She is antisocial, you know, she just, like, she wasn't socialized before I adopted her, so she definitely struggles with being around other dogs, or she has like major separation anxiety. So I think having a friend permanently and then becoming siblings will really help her. But as of right now, I definitely do not want a second dog. Would you say you have a preference in men? Yeah, I think a lot of people have preferences in their men or women or whoever you want to date, you know? I don't think that you end up with everything you want in somebody, but of course I have a preference. I usually tend to go for a lot of like Latino guys. I don't know why, it's a thing. I don't know. They make me feel hot. I don't know what it is. I really don't. I've always been that way. If it wasn't like Caucasian men, it was Latino guys, and now the Caucasian guys have just kind of left the thought. I think that a lot of people are hot all the time. Oh my god, I would be so grateful to date just anybody. But like, I definitely go for more Latino guys. So that's what I mean, like preference wise. So I get the beginning part of this question a lot. The last part I just added in because I thought it was a funny question. But it's, would you ever meet up with a fan or a quick smoke sesh or a lunch? Funny story along with that is, of course I'd be down to meet you guys. I don't necessarily know if you guys are gonna like me enough to want to sit down and have a lunch with me. Smoking wise, I only do that in the privacy of my own home. I don't socially or recreationally smoke at all. If you guys didn't even know about that, it's because that's how low-key it is for me. As for hanging out with you guys, I have actually, funny story, crashed a surprise birthday party. I was on Instagram Live. I used to go on Instagram Live all the time, and I was actually recently on it and I had so much fun. But anyways, I was on it and I was talking to a few different people, and this one girl, I remember her name was Mary. I don't know what she's up to anymore, actually. I lost touch. I think a couple years ago she DM'd me, but other than that, I have no idea what happened. At the time, she was engaged, and she was throwing her fiance a surprise birthday party, and she was like, oh my god, come. And I was not doing anything, and I am a social butterfly sometimes, so I was like, okay, whatever. So I crashed the party. I came, and she invited some other girls who were on the live as well who wanted to meet me. So we all kind of partied together, drank together, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. I ended up going back again and hanging out with her a couple different times, and that was a lot of fun for me. So of course, if the chance were there, I would totally meet up with you guys and like hang out, or you know, I'll go and crash another party if I have to. Would you ever reconsider going back to school and majoring in something you are passionate about? I thought about it. I think the wonderful thing about school is that the opportunity will always be there for me. However, as of right now, I am not thinking about school. Maybe one day if I find something that I'm really passionate about. Do you think you truly know who you are, or are you still figuring that out? If you had asked me about 3 years ago, I probably would have told you that I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. However, now that I am who I am now, within the last year, I think I've done a lot of hard, I had to come to terms with who I was, and I had to either accept it or do something about it. So I accepted it, and I know exactly who I am. I know what I want, and I know what I don't want. I know when I'm being too nice. I choose to not have a backbone. I choose to have a backbone. I do whatever the fuck I want, you know? So I would say I have a pretty good grasp of who I am. Are you fine with the idea of dating a younger guy? I feel like I can't say no. Would I want to date a younger guy? Yes and no. I'm 27 now, so I think I would go as young as like 25 maybe. I don't know if I could go younger than that, unless like I met him and age just like never came up, and he just was super mature and like knew what he was doing with his life, and like had all his fucking shit like ducks in a row and stuff. Like he was just really put together. Then like, okay, so be it, you know? Although I'm not gonna lie, if you tell me you're like 21, I think I might be like, okay. Because then I start to kind of get all like tripped up around like, oh, you have so much to live still, you know? Like, I don't wanna act like I'm old and wise and like I know so much, but like compared to what I knew when I was like 21 to now, yeah. Or like even like my biggest traumatic life experience was when I was 24. So, you know, it's just, but then that's also like when you're 30, a lot of things can happen too. So are you really gonna stop that? I don't know. I think I just am gonna say, I don't know, because if the chance happens and it works out, then it works out. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. I don't know. Are you dating at all? Are you seeing anyone, potential husband? A lot of you guys always ask me, am I dating? Am I not dating? I am dating. So dating is one of the topics that I just don't talk about in general, because it's just a sensitive topic for me. I do, and I have gone on a lot of dates. I'm constantly on dating apps. This is a conversation that my cousin and I actually had. So if you're interested in the talk about dating and being like single long term, or just in general, go ahead and watch my last TMM. I'll link that down below as well. But I dated a lot, and I'm not seeing anyone right now, like seeing anyone specifically, like dating, because I'm just taking a break and doing me. I feel like for the first time in a very long time, I am okay with me. So I'm taking the time and kind of like accepting that and really enjoying my time and figuring out what I want in life. So I am not dating. I also have banned myself from dating apps for the year 2022. Because it started getting like repetitive, and it was like a hobby, and then I just didn't take it seriously. So I'm letting it go. I'm banning myself completely for the year 2022. This was a very hard question for me to answer, but I'm gonna do it, okay? Because you guys are like family and friends to me. So how do you truly feel about your body? Truly, if I'm very honest, I hate it. Absolutely. Oh my God, if I could change everything about it, if I could Photoshop it and you could print it and blow it up and it's like a person, it's me, then I would do it. You know, of course. And I think it's a very hard, long process for you to just love your body. Those of you who have found that peace early on, congratulations. I'm not even gonna ask how you did it because I know you went through your own traumas and your own heartaches and your own experiences to have to get to that point where you're like, I actually love my body and what I look like and all that. So I'm not even gonna ask you how you did it because there is no formula for it at all. All I know is it's hard, and congratulations if you're there, truly. I hope to one day be there. Along with the talk of kind of like body image is how am I doing mentally? Mentally, I have never been better, honestly. I don't know what happened. Something clicked. I think it was when I rearranged my room. I just became instantly like I just feel better. I never knew a room could do that, but ever since I rearranged my room and kind of like sectioned it off and stuff, I feel so much better. Like I feel happier. I feel, you know, it's just such a different change, and I really like me right now. And I hope me right now stays this way. The last two questions are complete polar opposites, but one is, do you have a dream wedding in mind? I don't have a significant other to think about, but I have thought about my dream wedding. I am very big on weddings. If I wasn't doing what I was doing now, I would go back into hospitality and probably become a wedding planner. And I still want to open up a wedding planning, like an event planning firm for birthdays, baby showers, things like that, just in general. Weddings bring out a different happiness in me, genuinely. Like when I see a wedding, like my heart drops and I just want to sit there and watch everything. And when I say I want to watch everything, it's not just I want to watch like her walk down the aisle and like the vows and stuff. No, like I want to know everything. Like I want to know what the time frames were. I want to know what the time management was. I want to know what time she started. I want to know what time she ended. I want to know what time she had to start walking in the hall to get to where she needs to be at this exact time. Like the nitty-gritty stuff is what makes me so happy about a wedding. The time crunch, the time management that goes in it for that, for everything to be perfect. Oh my God, everything about it. But anyways, dream wedding. If I were engaged right now and I was thinking about a dream wedding with no financial concerns, one, I do really want to go to Italy. I feel like a dream would be to get married in Italy. I feel like, I don't know why, it's just the vibe, the prettiness of it. But honestly, I don't think the chances of me going to Italy are very high. So I would want to find like a place. I actually found one recently, but I forgot the name of it and I don't know where I put that information. So anyways, but I want like old-timey, old town Italy with the twinkling lights, like very romantic. The roses, I do want white, but I think I might want more of like a pinky tone just to make it more romantic and mellow. Very like French vibes in a sense, like with the flower arrangements, but that's how I see, very sunset, you know, kind of like that. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is how did you overcome depression and heartbreak? The reason why I left this question to be the last question is because I actually went through a depressive / heartbreak in the last like 3 years. Both actually within the last 3 years, and that's what's really changed me. I've gotten over them, but one of the biggest things for me is I go through a lot of depression and a lot of heartbreak because I'm just a sensitive person. That's who I am. I allow it to do that to me, and I have learned, the older I get, I've learned how to cope with it. Unfortunately, I also have the personality who takes a long time to cope with it. But I think I'm getting better. I think so. One of the things I've learned is you do need a moment to actually come to terms with it. You need to understand it. You need to accept it. And that only happens with time. I will say being around friends, being around people who you love and care for you really help. But at the same time, it doesn't, because I realize that me being around friends constantly was making me avoid the fact of why I was heartbroken or why I went through a depressive state. And it was my way of coping. I was avoiding having to come to terms with what was happening. And so I will say that finding that middle of what you need is very hard, but you need to play around with it and you need to pull through it, because it sucks, because no matter what I say, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help you out of a depressive state or a heartbreak. Heartbreaks are just gonna happen. They happen naturally all the time. Time will heal it. How? I don't know. It does naturally. Being around people you enjoy, going out there, doing something for yourself, but you gotta push through it, because at the end of the day, it becomes a memory. And think about it in a positive way and just move on. That's all you can really do, because you gotta think about it. At the end, you're the only one suffering. Why are you stopping your life or pausing your life or putting yourself through this when the other person might not even care? You know, that's just so unfair for you. And I understand when you need to drop everything and just be depressed. I get that. But somehow, some way, you need to pick yourself back up and just do it and just live life, because life doesn't stop for you. It continues on. There are bills that need to be paid. There are dogs that need to be fed, your children, whatever the case is. You need to just take care of yourself. Find an outlet for you to take care of yourself. I think I put too much lemon juice in it. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. If you guys have any more questions, leave it down below. I'll save them and do another Q&A someday. Other than that, please let me know down below in the comments what kind of topics you guys want to talk about, your opinions that you want to hear, or anything like that. Like one of them that I have written down, because I kind of like to like collect them and then figure out like what I want to talk about in each video. One of them so far is talking about like large age gaps, and like, do you think that relationships like that work? Like if the man is older or the woman is older and you're like 10-year or whatever, like a large age gap, like do you think it works? So that's one question that I have. But let me know down below if you guys have any more topics you want me to talk about. And that's anything. Like I remember talking about being Asian and overweight and being called fat by family members, or like friendship heartbreaks, or anything, really anything. Struggling with school, struggling with your weight, struggling with something else, I don't know. Whatever you guys want to talk about, Tell Me More is your guys's outlet to talk about whatever you want. This is my moment to have a conversation with you guys that means something to you and that speaks to you. So if you guys have a whole letter to send me, my Tell Me More email is down below as well. Of course, you guys can always send me emails. I don't have to read them. Usually I read them out on Tell Me More, but if it's private and you just want to speak to me, you can email me and I will answer you on there. But I would love to share your guys' stories. This is just my time to connect with you guys as best as I can. But I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. Let me know what else I should make drink-wise. I think my next drink is the espresso martini, just because everybody and their moms can't shut up about it, so I'm very curious. So that's gonna be my next drink for next week. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and like this video. Comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!